for free. And with being the 4 6s in the human design profile, we're the influencer. We're the ones who, let me just give you, like, Amanda Francis is a 4 6. So you understand how she is one of the record-breaking coaches in the industry that did it her way. She created a business model that was very passive. She doesn't make new programs, if you notice. Everything she makes is old content, because when you think about it, if you're making $8 million a year, how are you going to go back and teach somebody how to make $100,000 a year when you did that back then? You're a totally different person. Yes. So her programs are very made that you got the concept of where she was at that level. She breaks it down at that perspective, at that moment of time, on how to do it. So when you catch her, it's an evolution of her journey, right? Yeah. I think she just made one new program last year, and it's about creating a book because, she has that book, Rich as Fuck. I don't know if you've read it. It's so good. I've read it like 3 times. I haven't read it. Okay, cool. But for me, I say to myself, like, I'm the blueprint. You can copy me. What you can't copy is my sauce. You can't copy the legacy that I come from. You can't copy my cosmic brilliance, but I can give you the blueprint of how to go along, of tapping into your cosmic brilliance, right? I can show you what it looks like to be really embodied in your genius, because that's one of the things in my human design that I'm defined the very strongest. I embody. I am very comfortable in my body being who I am. Matter of fact, I was told if I'm not queening, if I'm not being my true essence of who I am, people don't feel comfortable. So it's like, I fully show up, embody who I am. I laugh loud. I throw my hands. I flip my hair. I make cuss sometimes. That it's me. That's truly me. I love all genres of music. I'm just a plethora of things I love. I'm very multidimensional, but that's me. So this is the thing about it. I can give you the blueprint, but you can't copy my sauce. You can't copy my sauce, because I'm truly tapped into my own personal power. And that's what I want people to know. You have your own personal power. Like Kerry says all the time, your divine centers, right? Stepping into that divine innate power. It's your essence of who you are. So you must understand, you can be the blueprint. People can't truly copy you. And that's what we get into with, and we want to talk about it. I'm going to let Kerry jump onto it about imposter syndrome. And we're just going to really kind of go back and really talk about our views of what imposter syndrome is, right? Yeah. Kerry, so really talk about how do you feel about imposter syndrome?
Okay. Well, I really see it being something that is profound when you start your business, right? There is a huge sense of, I don't really know what I'm doing. How could I charge? What do I charge? Because I'm not an expert. So there's this limiting belief that starts really building up when you're starting a business, when you've left corporate, or maybe you've pivoted your business from a different industry. Maybe you are on you've taken a break from your business and now you're starting again. There's this huge, pull within you to say, how dare you say you're an expert? And I want to say that, and I love to empower women to know that they already are the expert. You're already an expert. And the thing is, you've just got to really find what the expert part of you is. Make sure, because this is a conditioning, right? When you've gone through corporate, or you've studied and you've been in a position and then you've pivoted to a new industry, you immediately are thinking that your past history is no relevance. But I'm saying to you, there are so many skills that transfer that make you an expert because of the experiences you've been on. And I love, like Amber, I love to do this exercise with women to really get them to understand what their lifetime value is. And it's like you're sitting down and working out the value of all your experiences, the value of all the failures that you think are failures, the value of maybe a relationship breakdown or, a business, partnership that didn't work. And when you really understand the experience actually has provided you with knowledge and guidance and has really helped you to get to this point, just like all my experiences have led me to meet you, Amber, and be in a position where I feel all my lessons are really actually valuable for me to share in leadership. So, yeah, that's what I believe. Imposter syndrome is actually just saying to you, you need to really sit down and really honor your journey, and that you are an expert right now. You just have to find the roadmap of where you've started and where you are now and package it up. Yeah. It's honestly, as a business coach and a, strategist, chartered accountant, I love to help women to really find the value in their experiences. And what do you have? Amber, maybe you share some of your thoughts around that.
Also, coming from a place of human design, because I'm going to throw that in there because we talk a lot about human design. A lot of people I see have a very undefined heart center. Like I have an undefined heart center, but at the same time, I want to say for me, as a small child, someone at the age of 5, I always knew I was destined for greatness, right? I always knew that God. And one thing, I want you to know this is not something where you have to believe in God, because you might believe in some other way. You might just believe in a higher power or the universe or Allah or whatever, but for me, I like to say God a lot, right? And I knew God gave all of us gifts, right? So if deep in my heart, I show up and I know that's the gift God gave me, why would I feel like a fraud, right? And I feel that a lot of the times for a lot of people who are in some form of imposter syndrome, they were told as a little child, you can't do that. You're not made for that. You're not designed for that. You're not going to be that dentist. You're not going to be that rock star. When you think about a lot of people that I think a good person who would be used, and some people might get a little upset, but it's okay. But I like to think of Kanye West. He is someone who's very faith driven. He is someone who his mother installed in him. There's nothing you can't do. Everything is possible for you. Your landscape, anything you do, you put your mind to, you can do it. That is someone who had a mother who constantly ingrained that for themselves. Now think about somebody who had a mother was like, you're not going to amount to anything. Nobody in our family's done anything great. Who do you think you are? Cousins telling you who you think you are. And you're constantly hearing that put into your subconscious mind on a day-to-day basis that you can't do anything. So of course, when you decide to step out of this role and step into this new business, you're like, well, who am I to do that? Because I'm going to tell you, the women that I've worked with, that's what they experience on a day-to-day basis. It comes from the subconscious mind, of the subconscious programming, that they were not able to do that. But for someone like me who saw my family members, my dad, my mom, my grandma, my grandfather, do what they were called to do and do it with grace, I knew there was nothing else I could do. So it's like, even if I get a little scared, because I want you to understand, it's okay to be scared. It's okay. If your mission is not scaring the hell out of you, it's not big enough, guys. Like I'm scared every day and I keep going. I'm doing it scared every single day. And nothing is wrong with that. That's fuel. It's fuel.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. Amber, when you did my human design, okay, I just want to share this because this is how it just awakens something within you. I have always said to myself, even with my family are quite happy to just, go through life and not really stretch too far, because why would you? Because you could risk something. I'm very different to my family. I am the risk taker. I am like going and putting myself through university. I became a chartered accountant. I've traveled on secondment and been the first. I love to be the first and prove to others that it's possible, right? And I've done this many times in my life in the jobs I've done. And it's just been something that I've been like pushing within me. And I have launched my business, and now I'm just pushing on to like, what else can I do? What else do people think is not possible? Well, collaborations. Let's do that. Let's launch multiple courses. Let's, change the way people run business. And it's really interesting because recently, when I found Amber, and I really resonated with her straight away, right? And reached out to her, and then she did my human design. And Amber, it's just like so obvious on my human design chart why I'm this way. And it's really allowed me to go, oh, okay, this is who I am. And now with that information, I can really start like looking at, oh gosh, that's my power center. Like, no wonder I am a leader. So of course, a leadership program makes sense. Whereas before, if I didn't know that, I would be probably thinking, yes, I've always been in leadership. I naturally lead my clients. I'm always reaching for leadership, but who am I to be teaching about it? So yeah, and to share a bit more about what you shared with me about my human design, because I think this part is so incredible.
So with Kerry's human design, which really what brought us together, we had some gates that really linked together for us. And the gates are like defined parts of your human design that are different characteristic, different qualities of you. And Kerry and I really tapped into a lot of emotional intelligence, emotional understanding. She's one of community. She has a divine ego center. So, that entire like self-love, self-love parts. We also have shared the channel of sacred salesperson. So we get to we both sail from a place of sacredcy. I think that's the way you should say it, but it's very sacred to us to sail. When I think about this and I think about Kerry and stuff, like it's just so natural for us to sail. Like I used to work in banking, and they're like, Amber, I need you to do it this way. And I was like, oh, I don't like it that way. I want to do it this way. I really want to build a relationship with the person. And just to give a little short story, I remember working in the bank. I had built this relationship with a lady 7 months ago. Didn't see her for 7 months. She came back. She was a millionaire. She brought me her money. And I closed my first deal with her after just coming back into the bank after 2 weeks, because that's my way of selling. And I feel like Kerry's the same way. She builds those relationships with you. Relationships are very important. We are both about walking in integrity. Kerry is about serving. That's a big thing. Kerry is about serving and walking in integrity. And she also has a defined sacral center. So she has that energy, because there's me who's the projector, and Kerry would be like, you want to do this? And I'd be like, Kerry, I'm a little tapped out. And Kerry's ready to go. She's ready to go. But you know what? That's the beautiful thing about it, because with Kerry and I partnership, we really bounce off of each other.
Yeah.
And it's like being a projector, I really can guide her. I'm like, well, let's go this angle. And she's like, well, you kind of like started off, because I like how you start things off. And we really kind of just, it's like a ping pong. It's like, it's a flow. It's a flow. It's a flow. It's an ease. It's ease, and it's not one or another trying to shine brighter than the other. It's one or another holding space for the other one while they rise up and speak on something that we both share a commonality on, and that's what, if you could see us partnering together right now, Like, that's how it's been the whole time. I'll be like, okay, it's time for me to stop talking. Let me get this over to Kerry. And that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna give it over to Kerry.
Okay, so I want to share a bit of of what it looks like when we work together, because this is the whole, I guess, inside story of what it's like when you find your soul sister, right? Because we are very different, but we are very similar in some areas. So we both share that mission, that bigger mission, and the way we show up and our expertise is very solid, right? So that's the first key in finding your soul sister, right? And the next is in surrendering and just knowing that I would rather be in my genius area doing what I love, and also allowing Amber to be in her genius area. And it's like this beautiful partnership, because we don't need to do it all individually, right? If we can sit back and go, I am a generator, right? So I love generating things, and I get energy from doing, and energy from activating, and from like, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this. And I can run away with myself, and I know that about myself, right? But I've also achieved lots of things in a short amount of time and then burnt out. So working with Amber, she is a lot more of that relaxed, grounded energy, which I love. So working in balance with Amber really allows me to focus on, okay, let's just tone it down and let's really laser focus on the one thing that's going to move it forward and not overcomplicate everything. And that it's okay to rest and surrender and really hone in on where we're going and have the energy, the right energy being maintained, right? So I'm learning a lot from her. She's learning a lot from me. And we are together bringing both of our expertise to share the story, because you don't have to feel like an imposter. If you know who you are, you know how you work, you know what you can allow someone else to take over, and we are working in unison. And that is because we have that very solid foundation. Yeah.
That was so good. I feel like we really kind of like tapped in and honed on everything. Like,
yeah.
If you don't get anything from this video right here, I don't know what to tell you, because we really honed in on everything to really allow yourself to really think about when it comes to imposter syndrome. It's like, but I have this mission, I have this gift that's inside of me. Why would I deny it? You know? Is it because somebody else told me that I'm not good enough? And most of the time, if somebody tells you they weren't good enough, it's because they have something going on with them. Most of the time, I've learned that people tell you can't do something because they were too afraid to do it. So I'm here to tell you to keep going, keep pushing, like keep rising, you know. And if you are interested in really finding out your human design, like I do offer a cosmic brilliance session where we can tap into that genius and everything. And so
that's also definitely the first start, Amber. I think it was really a light bulb moment for me. So if you don't know your human design, definitely get some insights from Amber, because she is so good at giving you this, like, I wouldn't even say it's a blueprint. It's like this, it's like shining light within you to see where your brilliance is. And it's a beautiful experience.
It gives you permission. Maybe you felt like you didn't have permission, but it's like, permission, be you.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's the beautiful thing about it.
Yes, so good. All right. Well, you can absolutely lead with grace by, one, knowing your human design, and two, just acknowledging any thoughts of imposter and just knowing that you're already an expert right now. All you have to do is really tap into that inner soul, that divine, blueprint, and really stand behind that, stand behind your uniqueness and really share it powerfully. Like, you don't have to silence yourself. You don't have to play small for others. Just be you. And that's exactly what we are hoping that you got out of this video.
Well, thank you for joining us, guys.
See ya. Bye.